Have you ever noticed that even when everything around you becomes quiet, your mind refuses to be silent? The room is still. The lights are dim. No one is asking anything from you. And yet, inside your head, another conversation begins. A mistake from years ago suddenly returns. A fear about tomorrow quietly whispers your name. A memory you thought you had forgotten sits beside you once again. What if the greatest battle of your life has never been with the outside world? What if the real struggle has always been happening inside your own mind? Today we are not here to fight that battle. We are here to end it. Because according to ancient Buddhist wisdom, there comes a moment when the strongest thing a person can do is not to hold on tighter. It is to gently let go. So before we continue, allow yourself one slow breath. There is nothing you need to solve during the next few moments. Nothing you need to prove. Nothing you need to become. Simply listen. Because this message may arrive exactly when your heart is ready to hear it. Modern life teaches us to keep going. Work harder. Think faster. Plan further. Worry more. As if peace is a prize waiting somewhere in the future. But Buddhism offers a completely different invitation. It quietly asks, what if peace has never left you? Imagine standing beside a calm lake. When the wind becomes strong, the water grows restless. The moon disappears from its reflection. Did the moon actually leave? No, only the surface became disturbed. Your mind works exactly the same way. The peace inside you has never disappeared. Stress, fear, endless thinking. These are simply the winds moving across the surface. The Buddha understood something that many people spend their entire lives searching for. A restless mind is not a broken mind. It is simply a tired one. Think about that for a moment. Not broken, not weak, not hopeless, just tired. How many mornings have you awakened already exhausted before the day even began? How many conversations continued long after they ended because your mind replayed every word? How many nights have you spent trying to force yourself to sleep while your thoughts refused to rest? Perhaps your mind has been carrying a weight it was never meant to hold. We often believe we must control every outcome, predict every danger, prepare for every possibility. But this creates an invisible prison. The walls are built from what if. The doors are locked by I should have. And the ceiling is covered with endless expectations. Without realizing it, we become prisoners of our own thinking. Buddhist teachers often compare the mind to a monkey swinging endlessly from branch to branch. One moment it grabs the past. The next moment it jumps toward the future. Rarely does it remain where life is actually happening. Right here. In this breath. In this heartbeat. In this very moment. The monkey is not evil. It is simply restless. Just like us. And here is the beautiful truth. You do not need to kill the monkey. You only need to stop chasing it. Many people misunderstand meditation. They imagine that meditation means forcing every thought to disappear. But that is like trying to command the ocean to stop making waves. The purpose is not control. The purpose is understanding. When you sit quietly, thoughts will come. Memories will appear. Emotions may rise unexpectedly. This is completely natural. The practice is simply to notice them, without becoming them. Imagine sitting beside a road. Cars continue passing. Some are loud. Some are beautiful. Some are unpleasant. But you remain safely on the sidewalk. Thoughts work exactly the same way. You are not every vehicle that passes through your awareness. You are the quiet observer watching them come and watching them leave. This simple realization changes everything. Because suffering often begins the moment we believe every thought deserves our attention. One anxious idea appears, and suddenly we follow it for hours. One painful memory returns, and we relive it as if it were happening again. One fear about tomorrow appears, and our body reacts as though danger is already here. The Buddha gently reminds us, thoughts are visitors, not permanent residents. You are the house. They simply pass through. When we forget this, life becomes exhausting. We begin carrying invisible backpacks filled with regrets, old conversations, imaginary arguments, future disasters that may never happen. No wonder the heart feels heavy. No wonder the body feels tense. No wonder sleep becomes difficult. The mind has been working overtime without ever receiving permission to rest. Maybe no one ever told you. It is okay to stop fighting every thought. It is okay to stop winning imaginary battles. It is okay to pause. In Zen, there is a beautiful understanding. The sky never struggles against the clouds. It simply allows them to pass. Some clouds bring storms. Others bring gentle rain. Eventually, every single one moves on. The sky remains. Your awareness is that sky. Your thoughts are only clouds. You do not become less peaceful because difficult thoughts appear. Just as the sky does not become less beautiful because of passing weather. Perhaps this changes how you see yourself. Maybe you have spent years believing you were anxious, broken, too emotional, too sensitive. But what if you are simply a peaceful sky that has forgotten it is larger than the clouds? Take another slow breath. Not because you have mastered peace, but because peace has quietly been waiting for you all along. There is a quiet story often shared in the spirit of Zen. A traveler spent years climbing mountains in search of the perfect place to find peace. He crossed rivers, walked through forests, and visited wise teachers. Every time he thought he had finally found the answer, another question appeared. One evening, exhausted from his journey, he stopped beneath an old tree. There was nothing extraordinary about that place. No temple, no ceremony, no special lesson waiting for him. For the first time in many years, he stopped searching. He simply listened to the wind moving through the leaves. He noticed his own breathing. He felt the warmth of the earth beneath him. And in that ordinary moment, he realized something extraordinary. Peace had never been hiding from him. He had been too busy chasing it to notice it. How often do we do the same? We tell ourselves, I'll finally relax when this project is finished. I'll be happy after I earn more. I'll feel calm when everyone approves of me. I'll rest once my life is completely under control. But life gently reminds us that another project always appears. Another responsibility arrives. Another challenge knocks at the door. If peace depends on a future that never stops moving, then peace will always remain just out of reach. This is why Buddhism invites us to practice presence instead of perfection. Presence says, this moment is enough. Perfection whispers, you are not enough yet. Which voice have you been listening to? For many people, the loudest voice in life is not someone else's criticism. It is their own. The inner voice that constantly says, you should have done better. You should be stronger. You should already have everything figured out. Over time, those words become so familiar that we mistake them for truth. Yet they are only thoughts, not facts. Imagine speaking to a dear friend the way you sometimes speak to yourself. Would you constantly remind them of every mistake? Would you tell them they are failing every single day? Would you expect them to carry endless pressure without rest? Probably not. So why offer yourself less kindness than you freely offer others? Self-compassion is not selfish. It is wisdom. A heart that is treated gently becomes stronger. A mind that is allowed to rest becomes clearer. A soul that is accepted begins to heal naturally. The Buddha never taught that life would always be easy. He taught that suffering grows when we cling to what cannot stay and resist what has already arrived. The seasons change. The weather changes. Our bodies change. Our emotions change. Even our thoughts change from one hour to the next. Trying to freeze life exactly as we want it is like trying to hold water in a closed fist. The tighter we squeeze, the faster it slips away. But when we open our hand, the water rests peacefully for a moment before continuing its journey. This is the art of letting life flow. It does not mean giving up. It means giving up unnecessary resistance. Perhaps today there is something your mind has been carrying for months, or even years. A regret, a disappointment, an old argument, a fear of what may come. Without forcing yourself, simply imagine placing that burden beside you for a few moments. Notice how your breathing changes. Notice how your shoulders soften. Notice the small space that begins to appear inside your heart. That space has always existed. It was simply hidden beneath layers of worry. Real healing often begins quietly, not with dramatic breakthroughs, not with loud celebrations, but with one peaceful decision, the decision to stop fighting yourself. You do not have to become someone else before you deserve peace. You do not have to earn rest. You do not have to prove your worth through endless exhaustion. Your value has never depended on how busy your mind can be. As this moment comes to a close, allow yourself one final slow breath. Breathe in, as if you are welcoming calm into every corner of your heart. And breathe out, as if every unnecessary burden is becoming lighter. Again, breathe in gratitude. Breathe out tension. One more time. Breathe in this moment. Breathe out the need to control every tomorrow. If your mind begins racing again later today, remember this simple image. The sky never argues with the clouds. The mountain never rushes the river. The tree never worries whether spring will return. Nature already understands what we often forget. Everything arrives in its own time. Everything leaves in its own time. And peace is found not by forcing life to move faster, but by learning to move through life with a quieter heart. So today, give yourself permission to take it easy. Not because your responsibilities have disappeared, but because your mind has been fighting long enough. It deserves kindness. It deserves stillness. And above all, deserves peace. If this message brought even a small sense of calm into your day, I warmly invite you to become part of our growing community here at Soft Zen Mind. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and gently share it with someone who may also need a moment of peace today. Until we meet again, may your thoughts become lighter, your heart become quieter, and your days be filled with mindfulness, compassion, and gentle wisdom. Take care of yourself. And remember, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply allow yourself to rest.